This podcast is brought to you by the Startup Core Podcast and by the Down the Middle Podcast.
Come with me to discover the transformative power of kindness and the joy it brings. Join me as we explore every Monday morning simple yet profound ways to elevate your happiness, one gesture at a time.
Wow, fantastic, baby. Dance. I'm gonna dance. Fantastic, baby.
Well, I want to wish a fantastic Monday morning to one and all, wherever you are in the world. And if it's in the afternoon or evening, fantastic afternoon or evening to you. And if you're tuning in to this program in the year 2034, I hope the last 10 years were fantastic for you and you were happy in those last 10 years, because every day counts. Well, as you know, this show is the complete guide to happiness, where I bring you fantastic interviews from around the world of amazing people. Today's guest is incredible. He's making history. You ever see the show, the cartoon, The Jetsons? Well, we're flying already, but this new mode of transportation he's got is going to be the Uber for the skies. And I'm looking forward to introducing you to my ambassador number 1575, Saul. He is a fantastic human being, and he is going to make history. And I'm going to help him because I'm introducing him to some people that can help him in his dream. And I'm sure this dream is going to make him happy. It's making me happy just to be part of it. Well, as you know, the show begins with a little monologue and a couple of kindness quotes. I like to share kindness quotes from famous folk from around the world. And let me get you some here. I was organized. Okay, here we go. So some of these quotes are just normal. Some are from celebrities. I wanted to give you the one from Leonardo. Yeah, let's do this one here. See how prepared I am? So, very professional. You know, I have had TV shows, I've had radio shows, and now I have a podcast. It's very exciting. So a gentleman by the name of Billy Joey, I thought at first it was Billy Joel, but it's Billy Joey. And he said, misery might love company, but so does joy, and joy throws much better parties. You know, well, my quote along with that, because, you know, I deliver these quotes in my WhatsApp groups and my various platforms, and I usually have my quote to go along with it. My quote was, avoid negative people like the plague. They will infect you. And, you know, the Black Plague killed about 200 million people. And that's when the question came out, how are you? Because it was a question to save your life. And you didn't ask it next to someone, because if you're that close, you died along with hundreds of millions of people. So you'd shout out to your friend from a great distance, how are you? And they would either yell back one of two answers. They didn't say, okay, back then. They said, I'm well, which means I don't have the plague. Or the answer you didn't want to hear is, I've got it. And that's the answer you didn't want to hear. And you certainly didn't want to visit them. And unless they were an ass and they were a liar, they'd say, I'm great, come on over. That's not cool. But a lot of people died from the plague, and so misery does love company. And the question today is not a question, because no one really cares. I mean, your mom cares when she says, how are you? But in casual conversation, they say, how you doing? Or how are you? People say, well, you know, my leg hurts, and I went to the doctor the other day, and he gave me this prescription, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I didn't want to hear all that. I was just being kind. So I believe that the best answer to that is, I'm fantastic. Because when you say that, it makes them smile, makes you smile, and sometimes it makes them laugh. And laughter, which was my quote today on my groups, is the best medicine. Science says you live an hour longer when you laugh, so that's pretty cool. So let's get along. Mary Jo, the next quote is from Mary Lou Retton, a famous gymnast. And she said, optimism is a happiness magnet. If you stay positive, good things and good people will be drawn to you. And I've been saying that about kindness, because when you're kind, great things happen to you. Fantastic things happen to you. Kind people are attracted to you. So positivity, optimism, kindness are all magnets that will attract those same traits from other people. And that's what this guide is about: being kind, being happy. It's your goal to be happy. And then my quote along with Mary Lou's was, thinking positive, knowing it will be fantastic, manifests results. Manifestation, when you look in the mirror and say, I am fantastic every day, or say I'm a loser, conversely, those things will happen. You're manifesting results by thinking positive. I teach tennis, I've taught tennis, I taught golf, I teach happiness and kindness now, and it's a mindset. Visualization that you're happy. Visualization you're going to get the big yacht like I did. Visualization you're going to hit the perfect shot. Before you start a tennis lesson, you should play a half hour in your mind of the perfect stroke, the perfect serve, the perfect volley. Manifestation will bring you happiness. Here's just a couple happiness quotes. Happy are those who take life day by day, complain very little, and are thankful for the small things in life. That's happiness. When you can appreciate the little things. I give coins to the poor here in Antigua, and it makes me happy to give them a coin because I know that one coin, which is called quetzal, it can buy them a lunch here in Santa Familia, this place that serves a delicious lunch for 20 cents or 1 Q. And it makes me happy to give them that 1 Q. And it makes me happy very often to go there and give money so they can feed the poor. It makes me happy. The purpose of life is to be happy. There's a quote for you. That's your purpose. And thank you for tuning into the guide, the complete guide to happiness, because I think if you watch enough of these shows, or if you watch my Be Fantastic YouTube channel, or you read my blogs, or you watch my TV show, radio show, and my dozens of social media, because I put out positive information every day, it might lead you to happiness. Hopefully it will. Leonardo DiCaprio. If you can do what you do best and be happy, you are further along in life than most people. Ain't that the truth? I think 80% of people don't like what they're doing. They just have to do it. Now here's my quote. I love this quote. Find something that makes you want to jump out of bed in the morning. When you find that, you're going to love what you're doing because you're looking forward to it. Can't wait to get out of bed. You're going to do it well because you're having fun. When you do something that's fun, you do it well. You're not thinking about the results. And the result will be someone's going to pay you for it. Whether it's drawing or planting or growing or art, I'm an eco artist. Whatever you do that makes you happy, you're going to do it well and you'll end up making money. Don't jump out of bed for money. Now, I always say there's three types of people. There's 5% of the people are in that category where they love what they're doing and they can't wait to do it and get out of bed and start their day. I hope that's one of you. 90% of the people, and this is my opinion, I'm going to piss people off all the time, are people that say, I gotta get out of bed. And they said, oh man, I don't want to go to work. I don't want to get out of bed. Maybe because you're with a beautiful woman or a guy. But you got to get out of bed because you got to work. And you're going to be late because you hate your job. And you should never be late. Be early, show up to work early, and leave late is the secret to success. And success brings happiness. And so then there's the other 5% who say, fuck it, I'm not getting out of bed. I can't face life. And that's depressing and sad. But if you watch the complete guide to happiness and you listen to Dr. Fantastic's advice, because I've been around the block, I've been fortunate to have this fantastic life of meeting the best people on the planet. I mean, rich or poor, famous or commoner, people are fantastic. And it's really, I just noticed I've been looking to the right of the lens, and the lens is to the left. So I apologize for that. There's the lens. I see you now. Are you having a fantastic Monday? Did you get your cup of coffee? I had on my cup of coffee already. But again, this is repeated. It premieres on Mondays at, 8 a.m. Eastern, and you can reflect your time, which is 6 a.m. in no, 5 a.m. in LA, where I'm from. I'm from Beverly Hills, California. Beautiful place. I left the most beautiful life in Los Angeles to travel the world teaching you kindness. 5 years, almost 5 years on the road now. Been to some magnificent places, met incredible people, and I shared those on my Be Fantastic YouTube channel. And now I'm interviewing one ambassador every week, and with 6,900 and as of today, 10 ambassadors, it's only going to take me 182 years to interview each one of you. Isn't that fantastic? And you all have great stories, or you wouldn't have said yes to following the 3 commitments to kindness. Be kind to yourself, be kind to all others, and be kind to our Mother Earth. 3 simple commitments that will change the world, will change your life, will stop wars, violence, raping, killing, stealing, lying, cheating, fighting, arguing, bullying, all those things that man likes to do for some reason. I call it the insanity of humanity. And of course, I will repeat myself time and again because sometimes people are just tuning in for the first time. Now, before you want to even listen to me, you should probably watch episode 1, where I introduce where I'm coming from, because I'm coming from a different planet, as what a lot of people will say. I always thought it was a put down when my wife said, "You're from a different planet. When are you going to grow up?" Of which I always reply, never, to that second question. But I realize it's a compliment because I'm a little disappointed in humanity. I'm a lot disappointed in humanity. I call it the insanity of humanity, as you know. And I think I can save the planet. I really believe I can save the planet. I may be right, I might be wrong. You could argue with me either way, but the fact that I believe I can is 99% of the battle. Thinking you could do something is huge advantage. Knowing you're going to make that putt, thinking, I'm going to miss this putt. I taught my sons tennis. They became top pros in the world. 180, my younger son in the world, played all the Grand Slams. Very proud of him. And as a pro going through the ranks, sometimes if you lose that match, you can't go to the next tournament. And so it might be a second serve, and it might be a break point, and it might be match point against you. And if you're thinking, oh man, I'm going to screw it up, I'm going to miss, I'm going to double fall, all the negative shit, those things will happen. If you think, I'm going to ace this guy on the second serve, thinking positive goes a long, long, long way in life. And there's a lot of pressure in life. But if you just live with less stress, because everything happens in life as it should, when it should. Know that. It's called fate. It happens. Let it happen. Don't stress it. If you think you're going to get hit by a car, you're probably going to go out there and get hit by a car. If you think the day's going to be beautiful and you're going to land the deal and the girl and everything's going to be fantastic, it helps. Not guaranteed, but it really is the right path. So that's today's monologue. You're going to meet Saul. We're going to take a little commercial break here. I just submitted my commercial for the Be Fantastic International channel, which they might put in here. I don't know. I told them if you have a paid slot, put the paid slot in. If there's an empty slot for the commercial, slide my guy in. It's kind of cute. It was recorded in Sharm el Sheikh, Egypt, in Hadaba, with an Italian and I believe she was a Russian, beautiful Russian blonde. They are ambassadors of kindness. They helped me make that little commercial because the Be Fantastic channel has got the most amazing interviews. It's got, the pyramids where I visited Old Geezer, Old Faithful, rather, the geyser in America. I mean, in Istanbul, the Boynos Strait and the islands in Istanbul. I mean, I brought people who ordinarily can't travel, especially during COVID. That's when I left America, to some amazing places, and it's in the books. 2,000 videos. If you wanted to watch them, it's going to take you a couple weeks, I guess. But it's a great memory for me because I do suffer from CRS. Enjoy the show, like, subscribe, and share. I'm told those are things that help make the world go around, or it's about sharing. Sharing is caring, caring is kindness, kindness leads to happiness. So help share the show. It might put a smile on someone's face because smiling will make you live longer. So talk to you in a minute. Well, everyone, I'm happy to have my guest today as Saul, and he is from Bogota, Colombia. I haven't been to Bogota, and I hope to hear a little bit of what that's all about. But he lives in Miami. He is an aeronautical engineer, studied rocket science, but not quite yet a rocket. What do they call it? A rocket.
Rocket scientist.
Rocket scientist.
Yeah.
Well, I am going to have I don't know if I told you, Saul, but I'm having a guy on the show tomorrow. Well, I'm interviewing him tomorrow. That is astronaut 666. He was the first man to buy a ticket to outer space. First commoner, regular guy. $250,000 to go to space. That's pretty cool. Um,
It is.
I haven't bought my ticket yet, but he had to wait 10 years, by the way, after he bought it to go into space. At any rate, Saul, welcome to the show. I'm very happy to have you as a friend. I'm very happy to be your global ambassador to EJet Aerospace, which is going to revolutionize the skies, coming to a city near you, maybe even the countryside. Saul, the first question I like to ask my guests are, how do you define happiness?
Wow, that's a difficult question. I believe maybe I would put it together with peace, like worry-free. And but even when you're worry-free, happiness will be just finding what is the reason you came to this world. Doing what makes you happy will be something tied to it, probably.
Okay, well, a stressless life and a worry-free life definitely will extend your life and should make you happy. My mom died from worrying and stress, and it will kill you. So I'm a big advocate of not letting anything stress you, because if you let something stress you, you let it stress you. Don't let it. That's the key. You're trying to raise a lot of money right now for your company, and that can be stressful because it's a big deal what you're doing, and we're going to talk about that. But first, want to hear about when did you leave Bogota?
I left Bogota in 2008 when I got the opportunity to work for the United Arab Emirates, one part on aviation. So since then, I left my country. I'll always come back and forth for visiting, but it's very fun place to be.
What is Bogota famous for other than these famous drug lords?
And that's something that we would love to get rid of it, but well, that was a reality back in the 80s and 90s. So what is good Bogota for? It's a capital city, and the weather is like London. So kind of cold, rainy sometimes, but it's lots of green. People are very cultural oriented. Apparently, but the people from Bogota have the best Spanish accent from Latin America. So that's good things. The food is amazing, very low cost for the visitors to have a stunning location to live, a stunning food, entertainment, and of course, beautiful women and very smart people.
I like beautiful women. Now, Miami, I did some major partying there and some conventions. That is a party town, and it's got its fair share of Spanish speaking people from
Yeah,
Cuba,
that's right.
from Colombia, right?
That's right. Oh my God, this is many Cubans, Puerto Ricans, many all the islands, Jamaica, many people from the Caribbean and Latin America, of course.
And
This
a
is the
lot of
gateway from Latin America to coming to US.
and a lot of old folk, right?
A little bit up north, yes. That's where they don't really like Miami to stay, to retire. It's too crowded, too much people, very young people, actually, I think. Many young people are coming to Miami. Brickell, the area is,
It's a party town, that's for damn sure.
it is
A
fun.
lot of pretty girls too, if I remember correctly.
Yes, yeah, so far, yeah, I believe so.
But you're married with children, so we won't talk about pretty girls.
We could. I'm
We
still a man.
could? Oh, you don't have a jealous wife?
I don't think she's jealous.
No? Well,
No,
all women are jealous, it seems, especially
depending.
when they have a handsome husband. Then, Where is your wife from? What country?
Colombia, Bogota as well.
Bogota. Now, if you had your choice of, I've been around the world and there's many magnificent places. Well, I have a very wealthy friend who lived anywhere in the world, and he says Thailand is the best.
That's
What's your
interesting.
What's your favorite? If you have you been around?
I haven't been as around as you have been. I've been in Asia, I've been in a few places. So far, I love Singapore. I love Dubai. I miss Dubai so much. I lived there for 12 years. Um, where else? Oh, the south of Spain is beautiful.
Yeah,
And Europe, I love Europe. In
yeah.
the south of Europe is fantastic. Um,
I
maybe I
love
will join you when you go to Monaco. And Monaco is a fantastic
I
place.
love Monaco. Well, I lived in Aix and in Beaulieu-sur-Mer, south of France, for about a
Mhm.
year. I mean, the French Riviera. I mean, everything when you live in the south of France, Monaco, Italy, Spain, it's just a short train ride away, which is very, very cool. You know,
It is fantastic. I would love to go. Hey, let's go to Switzerland for this festival. Let's go to eat some good Italian food. Let's
exactly.
go to this art showing, I don't know, new artists from who knows where. The cultural part is
Yeah.
very interesting for me. Museums, I love museums.
Yeah.
Science.
This where I'm at now, Antigua is it's just an incredible place. It's the most touristed city in all Central America. It's got the active volcano, which everyone hikes when they come here. Hundreds and hundreds of restaurants and bars and museums, and it's really a pretty fantastic place. I've been in the last 5 years lucky to live in some of the top resorts in the world. And you know, when you live in a top resort, it's like actually go to the beach. People save their whole lives to come to the resorts I've been living at and you go to the beach. And I'm thinking, I'm just going to kick back today.
So what is fun in Antigua? Like when I never been. So if I go there, what would you recommend me to do?
Well, you got to hike the volcano. It's a six
Mhm.
hours. It was 6 hours for me, the most grueling hike of my life. And I never once thought of going back. But quite literally, it's like a 30-degree angle. And 5 minutes because I'm out of shape, and I took 2 beers before the hike because I always got to make life real hard for me. I just love if it's a challenge, I got to make it a harder challenge because I love challenges. My whole life's been about challenges. And literally, I'm not exaggerating. 5 minutes into the hike, I look back, I can still see the starting gate, basically where we started, and I'm out of breath, and and literally it was baby steps many times, and you get to rest every once in a while, obviously, but it was 6 hours of grueling hike. But it's a thing about you never forget that, even though I forget most everything. That's something I probably will never forget. And they come here for that. They obviously the museums are great. There's lots of. It's the most. I think it's second most Catholic place on the planet next to the Vatican. I mean, the parades during Santa Semana, which is Holy Week during Christmas, parades. They carry these statues and these floats. 100 people carry these. They pay for the honor of carrying them. And I've made many videos on my Be Fantastic YouTube channel of the parades, and they're quite beautiful, very somber. Because me, a parade is like, yes, party, like in Mardi Gras, right? Oh, the
Uh-huh.
parades are fun. This one's no one has a smile because it's the death of Jesus, I guess, right? So there's like, I'm always thinking, why aren't anyone smiling? It's a parade, right? But it's basically a funeral. I don't think you smile too much at a funeral, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so life is great here. I plan on doing a lot of traveling soon. Especially if I can help you with your project. I'll be traveling the world, introducing the most incredible invention that I've come across, and you can see it on his screen there. It's a gyrocopter, which were around before helicopters, right?
Yes, I agree with they were
It's the
having.
safest vehicle in the sky. It can't crash like helicopters or planes or jets, or spaceships. In case spaceships crash too. And tell us about EJet. I mean, that's what we're here for to talk about. You're great. You're the CEO of EJet Aerospace, and tell us about it, man. It's fantastic.
Yeah, so very shortly. So Francois Bourque is the inventor of an amazing technology. I should say a fantastic technology. The name is called jet propulsion, which is a jet engine that is 100% electric. With that, there's a few options that we can use this propulsion system. One is we can retrofit on traditional jet aircrafts, for example, a business jet or a big drone like the RQ-4. The other application is the aircraft that you see here on the screen, which is the gyrocopter. It's probably going to be the safest aircraft in the world because they don't fall from the sky because they're continuously auto-rotating. The range is huge, is 562 kilometers or 349 miles nonstop, carrying 3 people and 1 pilot. And with that, with just 3 minutes to stop anywhere where we have to stop, we swap the batteries in 3 minutes and we go for another range like that, 349 miles or 562. So the other aspect of the safety is that it's built to be certified. So this aircraft will be able to be certified with the current regulations. So there's no need to wait for new regulations. So we have the first mover advantage. The technology is already proven, patented, and we're ready to build the full-size propulsion system and the full-size aircraft and go to market in less than 2 years.
And you don't need a license to fly one.
No, you will. For civil aviation, you will have to be a pilot, which I'm afraid you are. You have a private pilot
You're
license.
afraid I am. That's right. You heard I was a bad pilot.
I don't know about the bad or good. I'm not a judge on that. But for example, with a PPL, a private pilot license, you will need to do a few hours on gyrocopter, and you will learn how these different aircraft. So with 20 to 30 hours, you will be able to be certified to fly these aircrafts. And by the way, the cost for you to do those hours is very, very low because my cost to operate for 1 hour is only $114. That's including the pilot or the instructor pilot in your case, which I'm paying $50. The rest is energy, the rest is admin, maintenance, insurance, and landing rights. So we compete almost with nobody up to today, October 13. We compete with nobody on range, on certifiability, on safety, and the readiness that we are on the technology is pretty high.
I like your business model. Howard Hughes, the famous billionaire industrialist, made his fortune because he didn't sell the drill bit that he invented. He leased it. And your business model is not to sell these, but to create Ubers, what I call Uber or the limo for the sky. Now, you're going to jump from building top to building top, parking lot to parking lot, maybe Walmart to Walmart, right? Wherever someone can park their car. But I mean, the cost is going to be so low. I mean, is there like a figure like per mile? Because I know you get credits, carbon credits for each mile, right?
That's right.
That's
That's
pretty
right.
cool.
Yeah, the United Nations did an amazing job creating these carbon credits, which companies that pollute the air have to buy them in order to to balance out the
Right.
amount of carbon that they produce with the one that they should contribute somehow.
Right.
So in that way, they incentivize companies like us, where every mile we fly, we get some X amount of carbon credits, which we're going to be able to sell on the primary or secondary market to get real cash. So fiat currency.
Have you calculated in-city transit? Like, let's say it's a 5 minute jump, which 5 minutes in a city could be an hour in traffic, right?
Yeah, well, I haven't calculated. Yeah, but probably I have the calculation in minutes. I know everything by hours because that's how we measure and how we sell. So if our cost to operate is $114, we're gonna be able to sell at least 20% of what a helicopter will sell the same hour. So a
Right.
helicopter, which is kind of the same range and capacity, is a R44, Robinson R44, which is kind of the same amount of range and cargo capacity, but they will have to charge you around $700. If you would discount 20% of that, which is what we're looking to sell that hour, we're gonna be able to sell it easily at $500 or close to that. So our profit is 3 times or more the cost of flying the hour. So our profit is huge. So our profit will be like 75% compared to only 20, which is what the helicopters do.
Well, I don't see, in my opinion, I mean, there's going to be long-range flights from Boston to New York, obviously, but I see intercity hopping as the big business because literally in New York, to go a mile could be an hour or more with the traffic jams, and time is money, as they say, and we don't have much time. But for an executive to be able to get in on his rooftop and fly down to the nearest Walmart for a meeting nearby or whatever, it's going to be a 5 or 10 minute flight.
Yeah.
So he's going to pay for 5 or 10 minutes, not an hour, obviously. And so I think it's going to be pretty cheap, you know. But again, even if it's $50 for a 5 minute flight, that $50 could be $100,000 or $1 million deal on the table.
Definitely. So it's a good case scenario. So we did the case scenario from Manhattan. But three executives have to fly from Manhattan all the way to an event in Washington, D.C. We calculate every single way, like a taxi, your own car, bus, train, Uber, or all the other apps. Hiring a private aircraft, a turboprop, which is cheaper. All the versions goes that our Koan, the aircraft that we're showing here on the screen, the eVTOL, is going to be less amount of time and less amount of money.
That makes it simple. Less money, less time, and safer. That's the big key.
Safer.
You know, a lot of people don't like to fly. You know, it's more people get in accidents, in car accidents, than plane accidents. Planes are just bigger and they have more people in them.
As far back as I can remember, I have wanted to be an entrepreneur. Now, I am here to guide you through the intricate paths of building your business, embracing emerging technologies and navigating the startup world. I am Saul Tarazona, and this is Startup Corps, your go-to podcast for entrepreneurial insights and tech-driven success.
But yeah, I'm very excited to be your global ambassador. Now you're raising some money, and I know it's not a lot of money, but the valuation, I think it's 20 million you're looking for.
We will discuss valuation depending of the investor and depending of the amount.
But it's a multi-billion dollar valuation because this is a global service. I mean, this is something that every country is going to want. We were talking to some investors, you and I, in India, and at the time, the government's excited about it, but the whole town or the whole country was flooded. And that was the perfect example of now the executives, government executives, you know, even emergency vehicles were stranded. But with your vehicle, we can outfit it to be an ambulance. They wouldn't have been.
Yeah, so what we have done is we did evaluation when we have the aircraft ready to start selling hours, and it's huge. I won't even say the number because that will scare away any investor. So what we do is a retracement of that to the real time today, and it's not even a fraction of what the valuation will be. For example, so the way our business model works, we compare selling aircrafts or selling hours. With selling hours, is a crew of one pilot working from Monday to Friday, only 8 hours a day. We make 9 times the cost of the aircraft. The cost to produce this aircraft is $250,000 around that time. So this is very low. This aircraft we could sell in the market very competitive with all the other eVTOLs in the market that can only do 1/3 or 1/4 of our performance or our range. We can sell it easily for $2 million. Defense, we probably have to sell the aircraft. So let's call that $2 million for a product that costs us $250,000 to produce. We're talking about 9x.
I like those numbers. Yeah.
So but it's a one time. Yeah. One time we get 9x or whatever, $250,000. So, but if we sell the hours, we get the break-even point between selling the aircraft to sell the hours in 3 years. And these aircrafts can fly. I mean, there's aircrafts today flying for more than 40 years. Let's say we limit it to 10 years. Our break-even point is at the 3rd year, and we have 7 more years to continue making money. So recurring revenue is way better than just do one-time sale.
And with your technology, your new engine being electric and quiet, the drone industry is huge. It's huge for the drone industry, the military industry.
Yeah, so with drone, just for the people, so to understand what a drone means is a remotely controlled aircraft. Could be electric or not electric, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
So we happen to have drones that are electric today, but we had drones before that were not electric, as we do have today, like the RQ-4 that I mentioned before. So if we want to get certified, which we do with the Civil Aviation Authority like FAA or Canadian Civil Aviation Authority or EASA, we have to put a pilot in the cockpit, otherwise we won't get certified. How we know this? How I know this? Because I work with airlines. I work as a consultant to do exactly these certifications. I work with the FAA on doing audits and a few things. So we know this by heart. The strategy is clear. We get the first money, $5 million, produce the engine. When we get the performance that we want, we will build the aircraft in another 6 months' time. So in around 2 years, we have a full-size product, which is something that is hurting us because everybody's saying, I'm ready to buy an aircraft. I'm ready to buy your services. Show me the aircraft, but we don't have it. So that's one of the hardest things to be an entrepreneur. It's very hard already. Raising money is a huge challenge. So you were talking about big challenges. Raising money, big amount of money with no or little money and not a final product is one of the hardest things that I encountered in my life.
Yeah, we're going to talk about your show as well, a startup show. But what I'm thinking is, as a tangent to your business, not just the limo or the Uber, is the engine itself. Wouldn't a drone company that's in business today buy your engine, just your engine?
Yes, it will be a tough sale. They will like it, of course. It will be easy for us to sell it, but what we want is to protect the technology. Because what we don't want is like we receive a few offers to buy the technology and shelve it. But we really
Sure.
want to
Because it's
make things
electric.
for the world.
It goes against the fossil fuel industry, of course.
It goes against many things. Yeah. And we are a tiny startup with maybe 10, 15 people behind that we're doing the job of General Electric, Rolls-Royce, Pratt and Whitney, Airbus, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, etc., etc. Yeah. So we're this little, and the giants may not like us. And that's something that, or they may like us a lot. Maybe we can do a partnership. We're not here to fight with anybody. We're here to make this a reality for the world.
Well, that's the problem with the world is greed. And I happen to know that there's billionaires that pay people to sit at the patent office looking for the next greatest thing. So, and if it's conflicting with their business, to buy it, shelve it, kill the person, or all of the above. It's a terrible world.
It is, it is. But so what we're not driven by the money we're gonna do with this. We like money, of course, as anybody else. But we're doing this for the world. We want this to be out there. We haven't conquered the air. I mean, anytime you see through the window, you barely see 2 to 3 aircraft flying. With this aircraft that only costs us $250,000 to produce, anybody can ride one of these paying $50.
Yeah, and tell me the noise, because living in the city, all you hear is helicopters. And every once in a while here, there's helicopter tours, and they're quite noisy. What is the noise ratio for your craft versus theirs?
So it is, imagine the sound of a fan that is enclosed in a duct. That's what you call it, a ducted fan. It is fast. It is a lot of air we're moving. It's a jet stream what we're having, thrust vectoring. So is way lower. There's no chopping noise. Like that's why they call it the choppers. Like
That's the big noise, is the chopping noise, right?
this main rotor that you see here is not a chopper, because there's no connection whatsoever between the jet engine that is here in between the two seats, and it goes all the way to the back. There's no connection between the engine and the main rotor. This is a free wing. And that's why it auto rotates. Although it might look like a helicopter to many eyes, we don't have
So
a
the engine's not driving the blades like in a helicopter. It's driving the thrust, and that makes the thing spin and give it lift, right?
Yeah, so inside our SMAPAD cold jet propulsion system, there's two fans, and with a very clever, it's a masterpiece of fluid dynamics physics, which is Francois Outburg specialty. He's a PhD in that. So there's two fans. One fan moves by an electric motor, another fan in the back moves by an electric motor, and there's a few secrets in between. All fluid dynamics, all science. This has been proven, simulated, and we are actually, good news that I might not tell you. So we are applying to US government funding. That's a small business innovation funding for research and development. So that's how real we are. I mean, we are working hard to get this done as soon as possible in the least amount of time.
Well, I'm here to help. I have got not the biggest audience in the world, but quite a few important people. And I totally believe in what you're doing. I'm excited to fly in one and maybe even fly one because I love flying. The first solo flight in I always say, life, you should fill your life full of firsts. Your first solo flight, your first time jumping out of an airplane, the first time you kiss your wife, those kind of things. Filling your life with first is fantastic. I've been approached by many people to promote their business, but a lot of times it's just for money. And I won't get involved with anything unless it's helping humanity, helping the environment, because there's a million ways to make money. And like the cryptocurrency is disgusting to me. It's only about making money. So I like your technology. I think you're a kind man. You're Ambassador 1575. Remind me how we met because I have no clue.
So I was connected with a family office. I was still connected with a family office. It's Linda Hansen's, and she was raising funds for the people that needed the most with a very clever technology, leveraging social media impact, like the what is it? The cold ice cold challenge, or the one that you put ice bucket challenge. You
Oh, the
put a
Ice
bucket of
Bucket
ice on
Challenge. I
top,
remember that.
kind
Yeah.
of like that. And she raised money for a lot of charities. So I was very keen to help humanity as well. And she introduced me with a fantastic person, which is who you are.
Oh, see, I'm always asked, how did you meet this person? I have no clue because every day I meet 10 or 20 new people. And by the way, the ambassador level I'm getting to, it's really it's impressive. I mean, I've been meeting queens lately and all kind of amazing. Oh, by the way, Leon, who's an interview coming up in a week or so, he what is it? He's trying to conquer the world. I think his byline is conquering the world. I'm trying to save the world. He's trying to conquer the world, but he's got some really amazing tech. That's going to be another interview. So far, you included the interviews. My ambassadors are so fantastic. I've been telling everyone if I interview one ambassador a week, like I'm doing, it's only going to take me 182 years to interview every one of them. But because more ambassadors join than I'm interviewing, it's going to be 300 years. I'll still be around 300 years. The technology they're coming up with, new brains, new hearts, new lungs, new hips, new legs, everything. It's pretty amazing. So you are been in a lot of different businesses, and now you're helping others by having your own podcast. And I always think it's kind of funny, and I'm doing the same thing. But I see someone with a famous podcast, and then I see another podcaster, and they're both on each other's channels, and it's like everyone's podcasting with everyone. I mean, there must be thousands of podcasts. Anyone listening to this, thank you for tuning in because like you say, time is money and your time is precious. And hopefully you're learning a lot from the guide, the complete guide to happiness. But you're helping people with startups, because as you said, it's one of the biggest challenges. And I think my advice to someone start doing a startup is to really believe in it and only have a singularity of it. I've been to the Cannes Film Festival many times, and I see a guy with 10 films pitching. He doesn't get a one done because there's too many choices. Have one film that you believe in, that you love, and you're passionate about, and you have a chance. So as a startup, you can't have three startups. Oh, I've got three startups. Which one do you like? A, B, or C? No, you got to believe in this one. Your startup is EJet, which pales. Everything else pales in comparison. So tell us about some advice for startups. Why not?
Yeah, the podcast name is Startup startup corp. And well, the intention with that is something that I was doing behind doors, like on my own time. I get approached by startups because they find me likable in LinkedIn, or I have a skill that they like, or they see how I promote myself on Egypt, and they would like to ask me for stuff or advice. So early in my days, Bitcoin, I actually started in Bitcoin, emerging technology, blockchain, in 2012. So with that, I create some buzz, and I have many followers on LinkedIn. The startups approach me asking for advice or investment or pitching. So I start like finding out, hey, these guys need not only money, but they need a little bit of advice on how to approach, how to say this, or how not to do this, or how to do something. So I start helping them, charging nothing, and just giving them a little bit of my time and a little bit of my experience, good or bad, long or short. And it seems to be helping them in one way or another. So what I create with Forsan Industries is a podcast that help them get to market and show them what they have. I'm very selective with who I interview, and it's always looking to add value to other entrepreneurs. It's always to that we don't need anything. We're not asking for anything, but we're always looking to add value to the entrepreneurs that are out there grinding every day with a fantastic technology or an idea, and they need somebody to honest to support them, and that's me.
Well, I've seen a lot of incredible, actually, I try to save them now because there's so many incredible inventions that need to go to market. Just for the poor, you can take a Coke bottle and fill it with water and put a little bleach in it and drill a hole in your roof, and the sun hits it, it charges it, and at night it's free electricity. But there's thousands of these incredible things that, perpetual motion machines, they're out there. But you have to start it up. Once it's started, it continues to go. I'm happy to see that there's a lot of people trying to do some amazing things for humanity to clean up the mess that we're in. What are some of the things have you seen recently that really struck you that, wow, this is a winner?
Well, there's some, like, I still haven't seen it by myself, but I'm getting a lot of startups with batteries, which are way better, we're interested in batteries. Uh, Electric generators that continuously generate energy. I think that's something that you were mentioning. That's something very important, that we're still using fire and nuclear energy. There must be something better to create energy, right? We've been here enough, and we should be working on getting alternative sources of energy that doesn't require charcoal or fuel or nuclear. And nuclear, we're only warming water. Come on. It's nuclear, and we're warming water and getting vapor. For me, that doesn't make any sense. I'm no scientist, but
I think the nuclear is disgusting. They're still building plants. Fukushima, 12 years later, is still leaking 100,000 gallons of radioactive water into the Pacific Ocean to this day. It's not major news. It should be. It's polluted 70% of the Pacific Ocean. I've seen the fish with two heads. You know what a fisherman does with two heads when he catches it?
no.
He chops the heads off and sells the meat. It's radioactive fish, but he has to make a living. So if you don't see the two heads, it's appalling, but people have to make a living. And radioactivity is destroyed a lot of lives. But matter of fact, there's a group that just won the Nobel Peace Prize for they were from Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Mhm.
That were bombed, and they won the peace because they've been advocated against nuclear energy. But I think the sun and hydrogen are the two elements that I like that are best. Outer space, they can tap it in outer space and channel it in the sun's energy, which is amazing. Geothermal, I've got a guy that's come to me with because he loves it. In fact, in Guatemala, and geothermal is 24/7, 365 electricity, and it creates water and does all kind of amazing things. So I'm happy to work with that guy. But hydrogen, H2O. How much is right?
Yeah.
And they've got to tap that for sure. I hope they do. But as far as electric energy, I mean, there is no such thing today that, and I can stand behind it, that's green. There's no green energy today. None. Because whatever you're creating that you think is green, whether it be a wind turbine or a solar panel or a battery, it takes so much fossil fuel to create that industry and transport it and put it up that it's just it really it's a money making thing. The wind turbines in the old days were tax havens, tax shelters. They build them and they last 10 years. Everything's got built-in obsolescence, by the way. Your technology, I hope you said it's going to last a long time. Tell me about that, because everything, your watch, your phone, every phone is got 6 months before they have to release another one so they can pay for R&D. Everything's got built-in obsolescence. Everything that we touch has built-in obsolescence. Tell me about the lifespan of your vehicle again and your technology.
So just one step before that, the aircrafts that they released today, let's say 2024, they've been built or designed in 10 years before, right? So we're already in obsolescence when the aircrafts are certified. Yeah.
I didn't think about it like
We're
that.
riding all vehicles. Imagine if your car was designed 10 years ago. I will be riding a very simple car with no entertainment, no Bluetooth, no many things. So in aviation is huge. So this aircraft is way more advanced than anything that is out there. The good thing that we're certifiable and we built it to be certified. So, but coming back to the things that I would like to invite the startups to approach me, and I'm very open on LinkedIn, you just find me. And I reply, by the way, is trying to solve the biggest problems in the world, which for me is energy, water, food, health. I'm clueless about health, so I don't add much value there, but if there's something with health, those are the
Shelter.
things that I would like to help with, because those are the biggest problems. There's
Shelter. They have some incredible 3D printing now for homes and incredible uses of hemp for shelter, because we need shelter.
Yeah, 3D printing for building, that seems amazing, as long as they don't produce more carbon or they use recycled materials, because there's always
Recycled
one good
materials.
thing. Using a bad thing is not a good thing at the end.
How's it going, everybody? It's Jake from the Down the Middle podcast, and I'm going to take a quick moment to invite you to check out our show, which airs every other Thursday at 8:30 p.m. on YouTube. If you love pro wrestling, you're definitely going to want to check this out. We talk about the latest in pro wrestling.
AEW's pay-per-views are rough, man. And it's obvious, like, Tony Khan is booking for Tony Khan, and it's obvious because Tony Khan has clinical freaking ADHD, but the kind where, like, you can hyper-focus on the thing you love. He's like, I legitimately want to watch wrestling for 7 hours. It's like, Tony.
Now everybody else does.
Hardly
Go home.
anybody else
Yeah.
does.
We talk about some of our favorite things in pro wrestling.
One of the best promos ever. Like, can we just say, like, I had fucking goosebumps. And here's the thing, I know it's a work, but I'm watching that and I'm like, I think MJF might have duped somebody.
And we have a hot take here and there, too.
Nothing against Riho, it's just like, do you think the audience is fucking stupid? Riho weighs 98 pounds.
The vast majority of great moments in professional wrestling have nothing to do with the move. Don't get me wrong, the moves are part of it. Cena's like, I don't even remember how I won. Everybody remembers this.
But the best part about our show is that you are part of the conversation. So check out the show and join in the fun.
I won't talk to anyone unless they agree to the 3 commitments to kindness, which makes them an ambassador of kindness, because it's not about greed. I don't want to deal with anybody greedy. I don't want to deal with anyone that's negative. You lie to me once, you're done in my life, because I can choose who I want to do business with or associate with. So I'm really proud to have you as a friend and an ambassador. We're trying to change the world, and it needs changing. And luckily, there's a lot of fantastic people like you out there trying to do the right thing, helping people. A lot of poor people ask me for money. They think I've got money for some reason. And I said, no, go out and volunteer. You'd be surprised. Someone's gonna give you a meal or help you by volunteering, by giving, by being kind. And it's a lot of people don't get kindness, but it really comes back. I guess it's called karma, you know?
So that's a great point. Many people that they're in the world, I'm coming from a third world country. I was privileged. I went to university. I didn't miss a meal ever in my life. But the important thing about these technologies, which I'm very passionate about technologies, is not only because they change the world, bringing a new product or a new service, but because they create jobs. But more than jobs, I hate the word jobs. I love careers development. So we're going to create 250 careers for people that don't need to be aerospace engineers. They don't need to be masters in business or finance. This is people that can start assembling aircrafts, which, by the way, we don't need many people with that. And everybody's saying, oh, are you going to put robot hands and all that? It is challenging. Yes, it's more effective. The robots don't complain. The artificial intelligence is going to be better and better every day. But we really want to employ people that really need opportunities. So creating the jobs is important for the governments, it's important for the cities. When you create 250 employments, as we're going to create, we're directly affecting 1,000 people because they have families, right?
Well, it's not just 250, that's in per country, because you should have
Yeah.
plants in every country. So you're gonna, there's 150 countries, you're gonna employ 25,000 people potentially, easily.
Yeah, and remember, the most important thing is that our cost to operate is ridiculously low, and the amount of money that we make is very high. We're talking about 9x. That is what pharma does. The cost of pharma, whatever $1 they spend in producing the medicine, vaccine, whatever, they sell it at 9 times.
Well, much more than that. I've heard it
Well,
1,000 times.
in average.
Oh,
So we
average,
are
yeah.
tapping
I've
into
heard
that with a
disgusting
real
amount of
product.
profit that they make. You know, I mean, it's just horrific. Someone's dying and they're charging $1,000 per medication. It's horrible. It's a horrid industry. Don't ever say a pharma around me again.
No, and what I'm talking about is the kind of amount of money they do. We're gonna be able to do a lot of money, which investors are looking for their money. They're looking for their 10x.
Sure.
We're happy to please them, but at the same time, adding value to the world, solving the real problems, making, for example, what is the big cost of moving food? Is you don't want to. I feel bad at knowing that that tomato have to travel more than 200 miles to reach my door. That is terrible. Seed organic and stuff. So I really think about those things that many people don't think, but I always think, oh, this is a Californian something. Am I here in Florida? My God, I'm paying fuel for this. Where I can get a beautiful orange was created 1 hour from my home. So these things I need to create conscience to people on transport. And we can transfer food, we can transfer people,
Well,
cost,
people, I mean, I can
services.
see it as an ambulance, you know, it's so much better than a helicopter, you know?
And the other thing, they will allow us to land in places where helicopters can't because we don't bother anywhere. Yes, we push a lot of fast air, but it's clean air. Yeah. So we're gonna move people's hair and move some grass around or leaves, but that's as much harm as we can do.
I do have a question that just came to mind. Your engines don't spin the rotors, okay? The thrust forward does. So now in a helicopter, I've been in helicopters. I used to film high-speed boat races in helicopters, and they get the rotors going real fast, and they get it fast enough, then it lifts. As a jet engine or a jet copter, you don't need a runway. You take off vertically. But how do you take off vertically without the thrust?
That's a great question. So for the first time in the history of aviation, our jet engine is the only one that not only creates the push forward, but creates the push upwards. Two things at the same time. That's part of the patent. So that's why you don't see it here. Actually, we hide it. It's on the belly of the aircraft. There is something, a nozzle that opens, and it will create a thrust vectoring, which is the same thing that we have on big jets, on fast jets. The thrust vectoring will go down and push the aircraft up. It's actually not so safe to lift up 90 degrees from the ground. So we rather do a 45-degree, because if the engine drops or the battery is drained or whatever happened, we can still glide and glide and glide to a safe position. So
Well, Harrier jets have the thrust down, where you're thrusting up to spin the rotors.
yeah, no. So the rotors will spin out with the third law of Newton, which is action reaction. Yeah. As you move forward, actually, you may not see it, but I'm exaggerating. The rotors are tilted backwards. So when you move forward, this will rotate. Like when you blow a windmill, you
Okay.
are the action blowing. The reaction is that it will turn. We will do the same. So this will turn and create lift. So the main rotor will not create the lift to take off. The takeoff force lift is gonna be created by this MAPAD called jet propulsion. Once you are already flying, having a little bit of forward speed, this main rotor will continuously rotate, auto-rotate. So in case anything fails, you will still rotate and spinning. And you as a pilot, you will always know where the wind is, right? So if I'm flying that and the wind is coming in this direction, so I will face that direction. I will even have more time. Or honestly, in gyrocopters, you do this for fun. You shut the engine off, which normally a gyrocopter has a piston engine, not ours. But a traditional gyrocopter, you will turn off the engine and you will use it as a glider, because it's the most beautiful experience is to be flying with no noise.
Right.
It's the wind noise.
It's revolutionary. Now, when the engine is blowing and it's flying, and because I've been in helicopters, you have to put on the ear, even in a Cessna that I flew, you have to put on the earmuffs. It's probably pretty quiet in there, huh?
It is very quiet. We're not gonna need this. So we're looking. So other eVTOLs are saying like 7 decibels, which is very low. And others are saying 40. When we build the aircraft, we're gonna test this for sure. Our cockpit is gonna have air conditioning and heater, but it's gonna be a pressurized cabin. That means it's sealed, so even less noise is gonna come out.
I can't wait. Everybody out there, call your friends, tell them about this, forward this, like this video. This has to happen sooner than later, because I can't wait to start flying. I mean, from where I live 38 miles from Guatemala City, that service would be so popular because all the people come here for the weekends, and to get here in, what would 38 minutes take? 38 miles would take how long?
38 miles, less than 10 minutes.
10
Because we
minutes.
fly super fast. For you, if you like the speed, we can go up to 375 kilometers per hour. That's top speed.
Wow.
So if it's a short distance, we can go to the top speed, and we don't need to fly so high. I don't know where the volcano is in your location, but as long as it's not close to the volcano, which usually is a mountain, so we're good.
It's a small place. I mean, it's going to take a helicopter 2 minutes to go fly across town. I mean, it's a very small place.
Right.
Well, everybody, reach out to your friends, reach out to the billionaires the millionaires and certainly when the stock comes, you'd be nuts not to buy the stock in this company when it comes out. So in closing, this is about happiness. Creating something that helps the world can make you happy. Having children, you have children, yes?
Yeah.
That makes you happy. Well, it's typically, because they can drive you crazy too. But it's all about being happy. Whatever makes you happy. Jumping out of bed in the morning to look forward to fulfilling your dreams is a really great way to be happy. And this being the complete guide to happiness, I just love having guests like you on board that have visions, that are schooled. I didn't go to college. I went to the school of Hard Knocks. Did you read my thesis on happiness, or my dissertation on kindness? It's for my master's.
Yeah.
You gotta have fun in life and laugh. Today's quote was on laughter. It is such an important thing. Laugh at yourself, laugh at life, laugh as often as you can. What did Charlie Chaplin say? I think his quote today was, "A day without laughter is a day wasted." Something to that effect. Just to have fun in life, don't take it so serious. People take it way too serious.
Let me connect one thing that with Egypt, how we make people happy. We will be able to make people happy at creating careers, number one. Second, creating alternative sources of transportation of moves, goods, and people. The other thing will create the happiness of being able to fly. Being able to fly is so beautiful experience. It's
And
a huge
saving money while you're flying. There's nothing wrong with saving money. It's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep.
there's another thing. Right in our vision, we look to employ people. Actually, Francois Outburg, the inventor of this technology, create the assembly line that is completely different from anything that you have ever seen. Is the aircraft will be hung on the ceiling and it will be moving the structure. And in the meantime, the people in the ground is gonna be turning, putting tools, putting parts. It's an assembly line. It's not a factory, it's an assembly line. So we're gonna be able to hire people that lost their legs and they're not able to walk. So most veterans lost their careers, yeah, but they lost the purpose of life because they're not able to be helpful for the society. They might be passionate about aviation or machines or anything, but they're not able to do anything because nobody wants to hire them. We would like to hire them. We would like to support the single parents and mothers. We would like to give them priority to the people that need it the most. We're gonna create a workforce that are gonna be hopefully very loyal to us because we create opportunities that nobody else in the world could create. Or maybe they could create, but they don't put the effort to. We are putting the effort to hire these people, and we're looking to have careers built for them. They don't need any background as long as they speak whatever language they speak. We're gonna train them. There's a full training center created by us, for us, with us, to make this technology broadcasted around the world.
Have you reached out to the Veterans Administration yet?
We actually, one of the designs we did was for the New York Fire Department. Not veterans, but the retirees from the New York Fire Department. We did a beautiful design for them. We lost contact with them because the person that was helping us, he disappeared. He passed away. So we lost that, but that's something that they might look to. Actually, for fire departments, for fires, this aircraft can fly where helicopters can because we don't need oxygen. The problem with fires is that consume the oxygen. So when you pass with a helicopter, you will create a flame out. Flame out means engine shut down, and you may or may not be able to turn it on. So
Well, right now, hospitals are flying medical, police are surveying, sheriffs have helicopters. Like you say, the fire department has helicopters. I think all government jurisdictions have, helicopters for transporting officials. The president of the United States has a big ass helicopter. We need show them a better technology.
The next gyrocopter we're gonna do it, we call it G-jets or gyrocopter jet. It's gonna be that's kind of the aircraft that the people on the world needs, especially India when they don't have no roads, or Australia, which is a land so extensive piece of land, or Canada. They'd rather fly than drive. So we're gonna be able to create an aircraft 4 times the size of like this, but 4 times the size, and it's gonna be able to carry 2 tons. 2 tons, around 20 people, depending how much cargo they carry. So that's a big bus. So if you want to call it a big cargo plane, aircraft, that will be an aircraft. So very
What's the
important.
largest helicopter out there? How many does that carry?
It
They have
is
some big
in
ass
the
helicopters.
military. Is used in the military. I forgot the name
2
right now.
rotors. They have 2
Yes,
rotors
they use
typically.
it on the Navy, but
Transport.
it is huge transport. So I love Chinooks. Actually, that one is a little bit
Chinooks,
bigger than
yeah.
Chinook is pretty big. Depending of it can
You
carry
can
2 people.
technically make one that size, the size of a Chinook.
Yes. So the way science works is if it works in a scale model, it works in a bigger scale. So that's science. So once we prove that this is gonna fly, that we reach the performance with the propulsion system, the next step is growing and growing and growing, not only in size, but in different applications. So we are very early on this technology. And I always compare it with the internet. If you and me were speaking in 1993 and I was telling you about, hey, look at this amazing internet technology, we wouldn't never thought that we would be able to use this device with internet to communicate and see our faces, right? We didn't have that device there. So what we are enabling is a new emerging technology on a very early stage with huge potential, global potential, and we're here to stay.
Again, it's you're revolutionary. I mean, this is the biggest invention since the Wright brothers, right?
Yeah, actually, if you compare it with those, the Wright brothers did an amazing job, and they didn't even have the best piston engine. But piston engine, like we compare this with when we have other type of engines, and we didn't have a piston engine. Piston engine was a revolution. We use piston engine in everything, to cut our grass, to move aircrafts, to move cargo, to move cars, bikes, boats, etc. So I believe this is kind of so disruptive on that way that we will find new applications very
I know
soon.
they invented the first airplane. Did they invent the first piston engine, or was that something they used in their
They
plane?
were making bicycles. This started as a bicycle, the Flyer One, and at some point later they put a piston engine on the same airframe. It was an amazing research and development. But at the beginning was very basic design. It made of wood and cloth.
I remember in the 70s, I had a little, I forget what it was called, like a bicycle, like a motor, it wasn't quite a motorcycle. It wasn't a bicycle, but it was a piston-driven engine. I'm trying to think of the name of it. And it was quite remarkable for the time in the 70s, you know. I'm a real old guy.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm an old guy. I may look old, but I feel like I'm 26, you know.
No, your energy is like you are 26.
Yeah, you gotta have good energy. Think positive, people, you know, and again, I want to thank you for spending this much time. I know you're a guy with a schedule. You're even on time. I don't like schedules, but you know, doing podcasts, you have to be somewhat attuned to schedules. I don't even know why I have a watch. I have a beautiful watch. It's more jewelry now because I have no clue what day it is. I have no clue what time it is. I had a doctor's appointment the other day, and they gave it to me in a week in advance, and I wrote it down in big letters on my X-ray, the 9th of October. And for some reason, days later, I thought it was the 10th, so I showed up on the 10th. And now I have it on the 21st. So now I have these big letters, 21st. See if I can make it this time. I just, you know, and again, time is all we have. And I really encourage people to enjoy every single day. Tell your children you love them every day. Give them kisses. A lot of children, when they get older, they don't like being kissed, which is horrible. My guys are in their 40s, my boys, and I still kiss them. If I ever see them again. I've been out of America for 5 years. But tell your loved ones that you love them every day, because it might be your last day. And that's be a great thing for them to remember. Oh, before he got in that car crash, he said he loved me today, you know. And a secret to a long marriage, Saul, because you know I give a lot of advice, is every morning look over at your wife and say, "I'm sorry." Because you did something wrong the day before. You may not even know you did something wrong, but you gotta apologizing is a great thing.
Interesting approach.
Yeah, you know, and make people smile, make your wife laugh. You know, women conversely, if you make someone laugh, they love you. You know, get a woman to love you, make her laugh. You know, she's gonna love you more than your money if you're making her laugh all the time. And they didn't marry you for your money, so don't work so hard, Saul, where your kids don't see it and your wife didn't see it, because they love you, they don't love your money, and you're gonna have a lot of money soon, by the way, because your invention is gonna go ballistic, and I look forward to going around the world introducing it to countries and governments and seeing that they create jobs, create a good way of transportation, because it's the future, it's the Jetsons. Thank you, Saul. Have a fantastic day. I know you're a busy guy. I'll let you get back to work. You're a fantastic human being, a fantastic mind, a fantastic personality. So happy to know you. Have a fantastic day. And the word fantastic makes you smile, which releases stress, anxiety, and depression. So have a fantastic day. And thanks for watching.
I'm a proud member of your goal. So thank you so much.
And coming up next, everyone, is another cooking show segment, Dr. Fantastic Cooks. Just pulled from my archives many recipes from around the world, whether I was in a hospital, a hostel, a mansion, a CBD farm, a ranch, campsite, Istanbul, or Kansas. I have these fantastic recipes, so stay tuned for the one coming up right now. Well, I hope you enjoyed that interview with Saul. He's really a great person, and he's got the E-Jet is going to make history. I promise you. I'm very proud to be their global ambassador, and I'm a pilot myself, of course. I love flying, and believe me, this is how you're going to travel in the future. So now it's time for another episode of Dr. Fantastic Cooks. I'm cooking beef ribs on the island of Ambergris Key. I had a really nice kitchen set up there. I lived there for, I think, 6 months, a little bit more, and it was fun. I mean, I went a whole month without shoes. I don't know if I told you all that. Never wore a shoe or a sandal for a whole month. Went to a fancy French restaurant for my birthday, and they said, no, you need shoes. But luckily they had an outdoor patio where I didn't need shoes. So it all worked out. Get the family in the kitchen. You know, you should always eat together, of course, but getting the kids in and teaching them how to cut and dice and slice and cook and saute and chop and all the good things you do in the kitchen. To be self-sufficient, know how to cook is very important. Because if electricity goes out and there's no restaurants to go to, you got to cook your food. If you love to eat as much as I do, learn how to cook. My recipes are usually fast, economical, delicious, nutritious, fun. This one's a little bit longer, but enjoy it and have a fantastic time in the kitchen. Back by popular demand. Welcome to another episode of Dr. Fantastic Cooks. I'm here in my kitchen in Ambergris Key Island in the fantastic country of Belize on maybe my 100th episode. I don't know how many I've done across America, in Egypt, in Ukraine, in Turkey, all over the place. So today it's going to be a really fun show. So don't go away. We're going to cook beef short ribs, and I'm going to serve them on a bed of mashed potatoes with a side of broccoli and a delicious salad. But before we get to that, I want to talk about a couple things. It turns out one of my favorite, well, as you know, these recipes that I reveal, some of them are my secret, some are just common. They're fast, they're easy, they're inexpensive, and they're delicious. And guaranteed. So what I learned today, I always like learning new things, is I love ramen noodles. My wife would always be embarrassed when I bought them because they cost 10 cents. They cost 5 cents in Egypt, I think. But they are delicious. And so I have a 30-second recipe on how to make them fantastic. Most people put the water in them and eat them like noodles. No. I crush them like this, all crushed up. Then I add secret ingredients. The other day, Kat and I made some chicken. We put it in the crock pot, and it was a lot of chicken. It was like 10 thighs or something. So I froze 8 portion-size chickens, so I could have a burrito. If I wanted a burrito. I'm going to show you a burrito trick in a second here. And so if you put the chicken in the chicken, it's delicious. I had it yesterday. It costs pennies. It was so delicious. And the chicken was just really cooked with salt, pepper, and a couple of spices. If you get the shrimp, put some shrimp in it. You know, if there's a beef one, you can put a little beef in it. So you could, in vegetable, they have a vegetable noodles, and you can put vegetables in that one. Or you could put all of them together for a great soup. Here's what I learned today. 95 billion of them are consumed every year. Billion. That's 260 million a day. A day, every day. 260 million people eat this every day. A lot of college students, a lot of poor people. But, you know, I've spent $100 on a meal before. Why spend $100 on a meal when you can spend $1? You know, I mean, of course, it's a business. expense and all that good stuff. So before we get to the meal, I want to show you a couple of those. Before I forget, it is mango season. So I took a bunch of fresh mangoes and I put them in an ice tray and I froze them. So now these are fantastic as a snack. You know, let me demonstrate because they're so delicious. They're frozen. Refreshing on a hot day. And it's summer, so it's like a popsicle, but healthy. Or you put it in your cocktail, even better. So I wanted to show you that little trick. I also wanted to show you a little trick for a quick 30-second lunch. Fire up your grill with this little fancy device here. Okay. And what you do is you put your flour tortilla on the pan while you're eating your mango stick. So good. Yeah. Live television. What can you do? The stove wasn't very much money, but it doesn't work that great. So there's some rules to cooking, but I like to call rules. The first rule is to have fun in the kitchen. I know a lot of people say, I can't cook. Can't is a very negative word. Henry Ford said, if you say you can't, you're right. And if you say you can, you're right. So instead of saying I can't cook, say I'm looking forward to learning how to cook. What happens if no one's around to cook for you? You know? So heat the tortilla up. Now, another rule, these rules, have fun in the kitchen. Teach your spouse to cook, your significant other, your kids. It's so much fun cooking. And don't take it serious. Have fun in the kitchen. And if you don't like onions, don't use onions. I love onions. I cook them in everything. So this is something I just invented the other day. I think you're going to get a kick out of it. It's a bean burrito, okay? So let me get to the rules real quick. Have fun. Always have a sharp knife. These little sharpening stones are really great. Be careful with a knife. They are sharp. They can cut. I'm going to show you how to cut in a minute if you don't know how. So that when you get this nice and hot, a couple turns. You're going to love this. I don't know if anyone's done it before. So getting back to the rules. Have fun. Sharp knife. This recipe, by the way, here's the short ribs, flour, salt, pepper, onions, garlic, and that's it for that. Oh, and some beer. So they called for beer. I haven't had beer in a couple of days. So I said, what a great excuse to have a beer. So the meal is going to have a beer, and I'm going to have a beer with it. Because if you drink while you're cooking and it doesn't come out so well, you don't feel so bad. On a hot day, it's fantastic. So what you can do quicker to do the 30-second deal is you put it right on the flame like that. Count a couple seconds, turn it, couple seconds, turn it. But here's the trick I learned. After you get that warm, take your beans. They sell beans in all different ways, and throw it on the pan like that. But here's the trick: take your tortilla and smush it down. So now you're covering the entire flour tortilla with the bean, and it quite literally cooks in 30 seconds. Let me see how that comes out. Actually, yesterday it came out a little easier than this. There you are. 30 seconds. It cooks in 30 seconds. It's fantastic. It's already hot. Put a little pico de gallo on it, or what have you, and you've got yourself a burrito. Okay, so enough of that one. Now, to cook the short ribs, let me put that on low so I don't overheat. Now, I did a bird's eye view here because I want you to see all the cooking. A lot of times it's just me cooking. You don't really see what I'm cooking. So you got the ribs. Now, all you do is salt and pepper them. What does it keep looking? It sounds like it's going on all the time. I use Himalayan sea salt, or Himalayan pink salt, rather. Salt and pepper to taste.
Salt. And the thing about cooking these ribs, when you cook them right, they are so tender. They literally melt in your mouth. So cover both sides with salt and pepper. Actually, there's 4 sides to it. Okay, now the pan is a little bit hot, so I'm going to put a little bit of grapeseed oil, like that. And I'm going to put a little butter, like that. Give them more flavor. Heat that up. Now, and here's the third rule. You want your meal to come out at the same time. So, this is going to take 2 hours. After I cook it, after I show you how to cook it here, it's going to go in the crock pot and simmer for a couple hours, 2-3 hours. So you don't want to cook the potatoes or the vegetables now. You can cook or prepare the salad beforehand because you want everything to come out at the same time. Imagine your potatoes don't come out 20 minutes after you serve the steak or what have you. It's an example. That's not cool. Another rule is plating. Make a nice presentation, and there's a whole art to plating. And there we go. Now we got dog food. Listen, never let anything stress you out. You can't let life stress you. Accidents happen. Shit happens. Anyway, did I tell you that I took the chicken, I froze them into 12 or 8 to 10 portions so I could have a burrito, I could have a soup. My memory is not the greatest, so I try to do the best I can. It's about a medium heat, a little medium-high heat. So we're going to braise this, then we're going to roll it in flour, and while we're doing that, we're going to have a beer. While we're waiting to heat up, I have a couple of notes that I want to talk about. 14 hours ago, I watch a lot of podcasts, The Truth About Roswell, the little documentary came out. 14 hours ago it came out. It's got hundreds of thousands of views already. And I know a lot about Roswell, but it's nice to be reminded. And they had so many testimonies, so many government employees that came forward, so much written documentation, physical documentation. Watch it. The Truth About Roswell. It's quite interesting. And a couple months ago, they made a thing called Alien Agenda, Planet Earth. That was a couple months ago. Really fantastic. Again, Stephen Greer, all the usual suspects. Okay, that looks like it's pretty hot. So what you want to do, they were putting, if you watch the other episode, I couldn't find these because they were hidden like this. I like to see them like this anyway. It is what it is. So now you're gonna brown short ribs. Still not quite hot enough. It's live television. Now, just so you know, after these brown, I'm going to take them out and I'm going to put the onions in. But when you boil the potatoes, if you put 2 potatoes in the water, like this, it's going to take a long time to cook. So the secret is to cut them in smaller pieces. The smaller piece you cook, the faster it will cook. Now, you don't have to look when you're cutting if you know how to cut correctly. Because what you do is you put your fingers like this. And if you make a little bit of a mess, it's not the end of the world. So I'm going to let these soak. It doesn't matter. Just get them out of the way in the water. I'm not going to turn it on for another hour, but they're not going to go bad by soaking in the water. Broccoli. Love broccoli. It's called a floret. And you know what? I don't like to waste food. And you probably know that about me if you've been watching the show. The stem here is so, if you take it and you cut the outer edge off and you just get the pulp, the heart of it, and you put a little salt on it, it's real broccoli. So, excuse me. I'm going to saute this in onion. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is chop the onions. Now, again, you don't have to look at the onion if you know how to chop right. So what I'll do is I put my fingers like this, fingers in, And then you're kind of like a barrier, and you know to move it slowly as you go across the onion or potato or whatever the hell you're cutting. And you will not cut your finger ever. You'll never cut your finger that way. So I'm going to use some of the onions for this dish, and I'm going to use some of the onions in the floret. Now, I like to always undercook my food. A lot of people overcook their food, and you lose all the flavor. I think you lose most of the nutrients. And then we're going to put some little garlic in there. Now, everyone knows the secret to garlic. Put the garlic clove down, and you just push down, and it comes right out of its little shell. See how fast that is? Now, there's another way I've been practicing. I haven't quite got the hang of it yet. But you stab it, and you pull it like this, and it comes out of it. See, it almost worked. I haven't perfected that yet. I just learned it. But basically, you just stab and pull. There it is. Look at that. See, like anything in life, practice makes perfect. Practice something long enough, you get good at it, and life's beautiful. So, brown the spare ribs, short ribs. There's 4 sides to it, so I would do all 4 sides. Brown that. After that's done, take it off, roll it in the flour. I was supposed to roll in the flour first. I never said I was a perfect cook. Okay, so it's not too late to roll it in the flour. Like I say, don't worry about making mistakes. Mistakes happen. You know, I am on camera. I'm so nervous to be on camera. So when you're on camera, sometimes you get nervous, right? Or it's okay. It's going to come out very fantastic. Don't take life serious, really, seriously. Have fun in life. Not a big deal. I mean, it would have been a big deal if it was fully cooked, but it just started. As you see, it's not even hot yet. So roll it in that flour, get it all nice and floury. I didn't say I was an expert chef. I just love to cook, and I love to eat, and it always comes out fantastic. Now, this recipe is not fast, and it's fast to prepare, but it's certainly not fast to eat it. I have so many recipes that it really just takes a minute, like that burrito there. That just takes a silly minute to cook. Always nice to have an assistant that's going to clean up after you. Ooh. Which beer was I drinking? Do you remember which one? It's a Hot and Belize. What else did I want to talk about? 150 million people have seen UFOs. 150 million. 20,000 landings so far. And full disclosure, Congress has heard about it. It's really an exciting time. I think next year or sooner, we're going to have full disclosure. Today is the anniversary, or tomorrow is the anniversary, the 67th, I believe. 67th? I think I wrote it down. 67th? I can't remember these things. 76th. Tomorrow is the 76th anniversary of the term that was coined flying saucer. And it was a pilot who saw them first and described them like little plates, and that came out with the term flying saucer. Roswell was in 47, July of 47. Finally, the truth is out there. The public's being taught what's new. And tomorrow is my anniversary of not wearing any shoes or sandals. 2 months on the planet as an adult on an island without any shoes, socks, sandals of that sort. So that's pretty cool. The only time I needed to wear one was at a fancy French restaurant, but they had outdoor dining, so I was able to eat outdoors at the restaurant, and that was fun. As you can see, my Be Kind signs, which I'm hoping will go around the world and spread kindness. I don't know why it's not sizzling. But that's probably the, that is really strange. It's not sizzling. Should be sizzling by now. I got it on high. You know what it is? It's the wind. It's very hot, so I had the wind. I had the wind coming here, so I'm sweating like a pig, as you see I'm wiping my brow. So again, this is live television. Got it on high now. Now it'll start sizzling. Okay, so after, like again, like I said, I could hear it sizzling already. The wind was blowing, so it wasn't getting that hot. Let me take a new plate for when I remove them. Again, I could cover this dish when I'm done and have it brew here, but it's so much easier to put it in a crock pot. It seals nice. And I tell you, 2 hours, 3 hours, the longer you cook it, the better. It comes off. It's delicious. It's soft. It's delicious. Salt, pepper, and butter is what I put in my mashed potatoes. You know, saute the onions and saute the florets later, not now, later. And that'll happen. So what do I talk about while we're waiting for that to sizzle? I talked about that. Oh, let me show you the salad. Make your salad well before time because it doesn't go bad. Put it in the fridge. I made a salad of red cabbage, red onion, and I actually put some sauerkraut in there as well. And basically, if I had some beets, that would go nicely too. It's very crisp and tangy and delicious. And so the salad beforehand, make that beforehand, and you're in good shape. Okay, I can hear it sizzling, browning. You gotta get that brown. What you're doing is you're sealing in the flavors, sealing in the meat. Seal it in there, and that's a secret. So let me repeat about my rules. Have fun. Teach your kids. Bring the family in. A family that cooks together stays together. And of course, I really recommend eating dinner together without cell phones, without external media. And you could talk to your family. COVID was a great thing. Bring families together. That's what set me on my journey of 1,100 miles, 1,100 days so far. I wasn't about to sit home, listen to the government, but basically, people started learning how to cook, and I give a lot of advice those first months on the road. I told people to watch comedies, grow a garden, learn how to paint, read a book, have fun with the family, and that brought families together. So, everything happens in life as it should, when it should. COVID, I don't agree with it. It was a bad flu. People died from the flu. Funny enough, the first year of COVID, no one died from the flu because hospitals weren't given thousands of dollars if people died from the regular flu. They died from COVID, they got lots of money. So that's cooking up. Okay, well, that's good enough, I guess. That looks pretty brown. Does it look brown to you? That looks brown to me. Remember, we're not cooking it, we're just browning it because the cooking will be done in the crock pot. So you remove that from there. Take a big portion of onions. I love onions. I'm going to leave a lot for, let me rinse this off. I'm going to leave a lot for my broccoli. Now it's too high. And this is only a few minutes. You only need to brown this for a few minutes. I cook everything with onion. I put onion in my salads. I put onion everywhere. I just think it's a good base. My wife is French. My ex-wife is French, and she was a gourmet cook. I ate like a king for 35 years. She was a fabulous cook. You don't always need a spatula. You could toss like this. You don't want to cook high heat over things like that. The garlic, you can chop it up if you want. You don't really need to. It's gonna be in the crock. You just want to get those cooking like that. Okay, so next ingredient after you cook these up. I can't believe I made a mistake on the flour like that.
Not a big deal. That looks very nice. Now you add these back in there. These little puppies back in there. Then you're going to add the beer. Bye-bye, beer. One can of beer. A little bit for the dish, a little bit for Monty, aka Dr. Fantastic. And then beef broth. Now, I was going to buy beef broth, but it was like, for a little bitty can, $3.75 American, $7.50 Belize. And I said, I'm not going to blow it down. So I bought the bouillon, same thing, same difference. So it's a powder. It'll be just fine. Now, you're going to simmer this now for 2 hours. I'm going to start simmering it now, but I'm going to put it in this. I'm going to pour it right into there, put it on low, walk away, watch a couple more documentaries, come back 15 minutes before it's done, saute the 20 minutes before it's done for the potatoes, 15 minutes before it's done for the broccoli. But you can see this. Put a tomato, some salsa, roll it like that, and give it to the dog. No, you eat it like that, but the dog is going to eat this one because it fell into the dog food. Not that it's going to kill me to not eat it, you know. I mean, I hate wasting food, and that's why it's great to have Lulu around because she eats all the food. I guess that's the episode. I'm going to show you what it's all done when it's all done, what it looks like. Oh, again, garlic. You like garlic, put a lot in. If you don't like garlic, don't put a lot in. You can cheat if you want and put in what's called, what do they call it in this country? Garlic salt. You can put a little of that in. Not going to hurt. You can put in a bay leaf. I don't know if I have a bay leaf or not here. Or not. Do I have a bay leaf? Cumin? No. That's the recipe. Now I can just relax, and I'm going to have the most delicious dinner tonight. It's Fantastic Friday. Be kind to yourself by cooking, by eating healthy, by exercising, by thinking positive, by loving yourself, by believing in yourself, knowing you're making all the right decisions in life. It all starts up here. And be kind to everyone else. Give their leftovers to your neighbors. They do that. When I was living in Egypt for years, they always gave their leftovers to their neighbors. Ramadan was a fantastic time of the year when people were sharing, giving, and being kind. So be kind to others. Open doors for people. Say please and thank you and you're welcome and have a fantastic day, right? The animals, don't buy ivory. They'll stop killing elephants. Don't kick dogs, pet them. Don't eat endangered species. And then be kind to our planet by using less water, electricity. Now, as an example, when I cook this, most people are going to use another pan. And so then you're washing the pans. This is the simplest, fastest way to make a burrito, and you're using less water, less everything. That makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. Don't throw away your food. Freeze it. Use it for chef salad. This can go to a great chef salad. You know, you want to put 2 different types of meat in a chef salad, a couple different types of cheese, you know, all different sorts of things. And that's the episode, everybody. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day. I'll probably add the finishing touches later on. Talk to you soon. And there she is in the crock pot. And here we have the final product. Well, I certainly hope you enjoyed the show. I hope it brought a little bit of light onto how to be happy wherever you are on this planet. This is planet Earth behind me. Whatever you did last week, last month, yesterday, today that made you happy, keep doing it. And have a happy week. See you next Monday. Like, subscribe, share, obviously, because sharing is caring and caring is kindness, and kindness leads to happiness. So share the kind words that we put on this show. Go to Be Fantastic YouTube channel. That's all positive stuff. Go to Be Fantastic YouTube. Go to Be Fantastic Facebook. Go to Be Fantastic. It's all about being fantastic. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to all others. Be kind to Mother Earth. And we're going to have a fantastic future. Thanks for being an ambassador of kindness. If you're not one, it's free. I know free, people don't respect free, but it is free. It's my gift to the world. And all you have to do is follow the 3 commitments. And if you say the global kindness pledge every day in the mirror, you'll live longer, you'll be happier, more successful, feel better, look better, and make the world a better place. And here's how it goes. Repeat after me. I pledge to be kind to and love myself. I pledge to be kind to and strive to love all others. I pledge to be kind to, love, and respect our Mother Earth. We are all fantastic. You are fantastic. I am fantastic. Be fantastic. Have a fantastic week. See, and please, again, like, subscribe, share. They say that helps spread the kindness revolution, our kindness revolution. And you are part of the kindness revolution by watching. Thanks.
I met Dr. Fantastic along life's way, and I heard him say, you gotta say, I am fantastic, la la la, I am fantastic. You can feel it if you say it. It ain't a game, you gotta learn how to play it. Fantastic, fantastic. Just listen to the doctor. He's a rocker. He walks around all day. He ain't plastic. He's not sarcastic. He says, I am fantastic.